Hello everybody, welcome to Hypertalks, a new experimental video series where I talk about design, writing, oddities, basically anything relating to my passions and or profession that I want to ramble on about like a stupid special needs child on sugar, because I am one. I do have video ideas I want to try out, and in this experimental time in my life, don't look at the model, I have nothing to lose, except time and energy. So let's try and see what happens! Today I'm going to be talking about one of the best games ever made, Kirby and the Forgotten Land! With the tiny pool of copy abilities this game has compared to Kirby Star Allies' 28 copy abilities, the most in the series, plus the 13 Dream Friends that came with their own movesets. Yeah, the drop in copy abilities were massive. Anyways, with the smaller selection and the fact that this game is the first main 3D Kirby game, a lot of people have been wondering about how to reinvent classic copy abilities for the 3D space. And I want to throw my hat into the ring. My stylish purple backwards cap. I want to design how Yoyo Kirby and Bubble Kirby will work in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's this video. If you like this video concept, please remember to like, comment, sub, and hit that bell, Kirby, because audience engagement will determine if this series continues. Not just Hyper Talks, but also Kirby design related content as well. If you are curious about my background in design and writing, then check out my video game Armate Showdown! It's a visual novel adventure story where you play the fight scenes in a simple yet vast battle system. It would mean the world to me if you went to check out my video game project. There's a free demo over on itch.io, or you can buy the full early access work in progress game to get more content from future updates, also on itch.io. Links for all of that and extra stuff will be in the description, so go check it out. It'd be great, it'd be fun. Would you want to say no to this face? Now, after plugging my shit, let's get back to the main video. And I would also like to apologise if you can hear a fan, because my laptop decided, oh yeah, Jodie's recording. Let's kick it up a notch. I don't have the best setup, but it works, I guess. Yoyo Kirby is a simple ability, but for some radical reason, it captures mine and other people's hearts. Hailing from Kirby Superstar and Ultra, then returning in Star Allies, it's a pretty cool ability where you use a yo-yo as a weapon. You use common yo-yo tricks to attack foes. Again, simple, but effective and memorable. This is one of my favourite abilities. Of course I'm going to reinvent it for Forgotten Land, since Ice is already in the game. My version of a 3D yo-yo is going to lean more towards a technically rich copy ability, like that of Sword Kirby. Yoyo Kirby's basic attack will be to throw out the yo-yo, just like usual. However, the size of the yo-yo will be bigger, so it has more leeway to hit people with it. Since this is a 3D game, you'll have extra space to work with, so making the yo-yo bigger will help cover more ground. We're not done yet, because if you press the attack button again while the yo-yo is out, Kirby will throw it over his head and behind him, like the up attack from the 2D games. No copy ability in KFL covers your back, unless you do some held cutter tricks, but still. So I feel like this can add a lot of dimension to the copy ability already. You can cover your front and your back, but your sides are still vulnerable. So we have a second attack to pull off to cover your radical hat, bro! When the yo-yo isn't out, press and hold the attack button to charge up. Once letting go, Kirby will spin the yo-yo around him, much like the down attack from the 2D games. The distance the circle goes isn't as wide as the regular yo-yo attack, but it does cover you. However, you're still vulnerable on the sides that the yo-yo isn't, so you better hope that your yo-yo speeds up to the other side. That yo-yo is still the hitbox at the end of the day, not the string. I don't know whether to actually add this or not, so I'll just mention it. When throwing out the normal yo-yo attack, if you hold the attack button instead of pressing, instead of an overhead swing, Kirby can walk the dog like in Star Allies. It's a constant lingering hitbox, but Kirby can also walk slowly forwards and backwards until you stop. Kind of a pointless move, but it's a cute move. When Kirby guards, he doesn't guard normally in terms of pose. Instead, his yo-yo hand is on the floor, the yo-yo touching the ground. This is because when Kirby dodge rolls, he spins on top of the yo-yo, like a spinning top. Basically Yo-Yo's 2D dash attack. And yes, this still does damage. You can dodge right through bosses and hurt them. During the dodge, you can press attack and Kirby will perform the Gazer Spiral, rising up with 2 stars around him, then landing down. This does cancel the dodge, but this is a great attack. This dodge and guard attack is why I said this would be a more technical copy ability. Only one other copy ability in this game has guard attacks, but I won't say what it is because it's a massive spoiler. No, I don't really want to spoil the game for people who haven't played it. If this is a bit odd, we could change it to a slide replacement for top spin, and then a slide attack for Gazer Spiral, like how Sword has its different slide and upwards rising attack. I do prefer it being the dodge though. It makes Kirby more radical. I need to find more 80s 90s slang. Either way, Kirby can style on the Beast Pack with his yo-yo skills. But what if we evolve Yoyo Kirby's skills? Take it to the next tubular level, yo! While looking up different types of yo-yos for this Hypertalk, I was thinking of maybe professional yo-yos. But then I saw something so silly on Wikipedia. Yeah, I know, shut up. I'm not in university anymore, so suck my busted that I just had to look into it. Something called a yo-yo balloon. I wondered, what the fuck? So I looked into it. So it's basically a water balloon that acts like a yo-yo with the whole throwing it out and returning aspect. Hence the yo-yo part of the name. So... Balloon Yo-Yo is our first Yoyo Evolution. This one is simple. Yoyo Kirby uses a yo-yo balloon instead of a regular yo-yo. However, upon impact with enemies or breakable objects, the balloon causes literal splash damage, because it's a water balloon. On top of that, once Kirby stops attacking, instead of returning the yo-yo to him, he lets go of it and just spawns in a new one. The balloon lingers in that spot while the string rushes right to it. Once the string hits, the balloon pops, causing bigger and stronger splash damage. When using the Gazer Spiral attack, when Kirby races back down, he pops the balloon himself for the biggest splash damage of them all from this yo-yo. This is why I picked Yo-Yo Balloon. It does give this evolution an identity outside of just being stronger and faster. This yo-yo pops and splash damages. The outfit Kirby is in is based on a yukata. I hope I'm saying that right. Yukata? Yukata. Yeah, probably. I don't fucking know. I'm English. I don't speak Japanese. An outfit worn for festivals. Some of these festivals can have games where the yo-yo balloons are used, so it's a fitting outfit. But what if we go even further beyond? So far gone that the humble yo-yo's spinning properties define its design. Top Yoyo Kirby! I know a Top Kirby already exists in the anime, Kirby right back at ya, but who cares? Water Kirby was in the anime first and he's a thing! There are spinning tops that get their spin from pulling a string wrapped around it. So I thought it was a good yo-yo evo, along with Top Yoyo Kirby's mechanics. So that's what this evo is based on. Top Kirby! Like how Balloon Yo-Yo Kirby's splash damage works, Top Yo-Yo Kirby leaves behind spinning tops once Kirby's finished with the attack. He pulls back the string which sends the top spinning. Throwing out the yo-yo top does multi-hitting damage instead of just the one smack like the other two do. So basically you have multi-hitting attacks that can also be left there. You can set up multiples of these tops all over the place to be traps. You can basically just scatter spinning tops everywhere and let people hit into them. When the Around the World attack finishes, the spinning top stays spinning around in that radius until it tires out. So again, the attack kind of lingers there while Kirby can just go off and do something else. Dodging on these tops are a lot faster than the other two yo-yos. The Gazer Spiral attack replaces the stars with new spinning tops that will linger at the peak height of the attack, basically being airborne lingering attacks while the other tops are affected by gravity. These tops will stop spinning and pop after a short amount of time, so if you really want to cover the battlefield, keep throwing out tops. I do think this will be a fun and wild copy ability that will allow for trap setups and arena control in the boss fights. Just spread tops everywhere! I know turning a yo-yo into a top is weird, but I feel like Top Kirby would play like Yoyo Kirby anyway. Like how Water and Poison are very similar in design. They do have differences, but they're kinda similar. If the tops ideas isn't settling with you, we could turn it into Pro Yoyo Kirby, using professional yo-yos. Being that the heavier weight of the yo-yos are that strong, the string snaps, leaving the yo-yo to linger in place and spin, or Snap Yoyo Kirby. That would be the most simple idea. The string is too weak because Kirby pulls back that hard, it just leaves the yo-yo in place. So, what do you think of 3D Yoyo Kirby, Balloon Yoyo Kirby, and Top Yoyo Kirby? Or Pro or Snap Kirby, whichever one you want to go with. Let me know in the comments below, because YouTube engagement is what's needed for this video to get out. Let's move on to the second copy ability that I want to redesign for this series. A copy ability that doesn't make sense outside of the only game it was introduced in. Bubble Kirby! In Kirby Squeak Squad, or Mouse Attack for the PAL region people like me, has a gimmick known as the Copy Pallet. In what is basically Kirby's stomach, you can collect items and bubbles to store in the pallet. The bubbles can have odd items, food, stars, and mostly copy abilities within them. You can store them for later use by tapping on them on the bottom screen. Bubble Kirby's attack turns enemies into star bubbles or copy ability bubbles that you can store and use for later. It was a fast way to fill up the palette, and that's about it. I was thinking about this almost useless copy ability recently, and how modern Kirby could reinvent this copy ability, while keeping Bubbles' aspects of capturing things with bubbles. You know, in an era where we do not have the copy palette anymore. Given Kirby and the Forgotten Land's more simple copy ability movesets, I think reintroducing Bubble here is going to be the best time. So, here's modern Bubble Kirby! TLDL, too long didn't listen, I'm reinventing Bubble Kirby for modern Kirby. Let's get into it! Bubble Kirby's normal attack is a string of bubble shots like the main attack of Blizzard Ice Kirby. You can strafe with it as well, just like with Ice and Fire, and Yo-Yo actually. Maybe a tad slower in fire rate compared to Blizzard Ice. When a bubble touches an object such as food, a Kirby-sized enemy, a star block, and the stars for mini-bosses and boss fights, it captures it within a bubble. When a bubble is holding something, it turns pink and returns back to Kirby. Kirby can run around with a maximum of 5 pink bubbles with him, all chained to his hat, like a daisy chain of bubbles. The 6th pink bubble will just pop. Once you have your max amount, that's what you stay with. You tap the attack button to shoot out some bubbles. While Kirby is shooting, you can press and hold to keep it going. So, like a press, let go, press and hold. The reason why the button combination's a little iffy is because of the held attack. If you just hold the attack button, however, Kirby holds back his wand and lets the pink bubbles collect onto it. The longer you charge, the more of the pink bubbles add onto the chain. It only starts with 1, so you can control how many you want to fire or do stock rotation. So if you end up grabbing a bubble that you don't want, you can just throw it away, given if it's the first bubble. Release and shoot those bouncy bubbles out. Thrown pink bubbles do a lot of damage and bounce off walls. They pop on direct contact with enemies and bosses. Any pink bubbles that contain copy ability enemies or food upon popping will drop those items. Copy ability enemies will turn into their copy essences. Like when Kirby ejects an ability. See how it's inside a bubble? That's what the pink bubble releases. Food pink bubbles will just drop the food item, which you can use. However, you can't recapture what's already been captured before, or a copy essence. I know there was a lot to go over, but again, I am completely reinventing this copy ability for the modern era. And I do know I missed a move, the large bubble attack. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. So, Bubble Kirby captures objects and uses those objects as attacks and extra storage for copy abilities of food. Sounds like Kirby Squeak Squad's copy palette as an ability, huh? How about we upgrade it? Bubble Bath Kirby! Or Bath Bubble Kirby, if we want to stay with the naming scheme. This guy allows up to 7 pink bubbles and is faster, but not stronger. But since you have more bubbles to play with, damage output is more frequent than base Bubble Kirby. I could not skip the idea of an entire bubble bath just being on Kirby's head. A shower head is now the wand, fitting with the whole bath aesthetic. Not much else to say. It holds more bubbles and shoots them out faster. Let's upgrade it into... Bubble Wand Kirby, or Wand Bubble Kirby. Again, naming scheme. You know those massive bubble wands that just makes the biggest bubbles? Let's give that to Kirby! And also put him in one. This is the only idea I could have for the copyability hat. Just have him in the bubble, being created by a bubble wand. I'm not good at drawing, by the way. This is the stronger variant of Bubble Kirby, while Bubble Bath is the faster one. These bubbles are huge and do more damage when popping as a normal bubble or a pink bubble. You'll have access to 3 pink bubbles at a time, but with a catch. Each bubble can now carry 3 items, so in total you can have 9 objects. When shooting out a normal big bubble, they bounce around and pop after a certain amount of time. When they capture something, they wait until they take 3 things or until their timer runs out to turn pink and return to Kirby. Kirby can throw the pink bubbles just like before, and upon popping, the pink bubbles do drop food and copy essences just like before. If a big pink bubble was full of food, all 3 food items drop, for example. You know, you can mix it around and they drop multiple things. You get the idea. So you may not have as many pink bubbles to work with, but since they can hold more if you're able to utilize the bubbles properly, they can hit as hard as 9 normal-sized pink bubbles. Hence why this is the power version of the copy ability. It might be slower, but if you're able to utilize it properly, it will hit harder. Also, this is the idea of the big bubble attack. I told you I didn't forget about it. Kirby and the Forgotten Bubble. Kirby and the Forgotten Attack. More like Kirby and the Forgotten Ability, Jesus Christ. Look, if Kirby Star Allies can reinvent fucking Cleaning Kirby, I can reinvent Bubble Kirby. What did you think about reinvented Bubble Kirby, Bubble Bath Kirby, and Bubble Wand Kirby? Let me know in the comments below, because, you know, YouTube engagement, blah blah. I don't know why I started to sound like Chills. Number 15, Jodie's a shell.
Number 15.
So everyone, that is what a Yoyo Kirby and Bubble Kirby would be like in Kirby and the Forgotten Land, or whatever 3D game is up next. More so based on Forgotten Land, because I feel like Forgotten Land's going to be the only Kirby game that has upgradable copy abilities. I feel like upgradable copy abilities is just going to be a thing for Forgotten Land, because of the lack of actual copy abilities. Hal, I'll send you my PayPal. So, what did you think about the video and the idea Hypertalked here? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to let me know if this is the type of content you'd like to see from me. Heck, if you want to see me give Bubble Kirby a full superstar / modern 2D styled moveset, let me know! I'll happily do it. I know Bubble Kirby isn't the most well-loved copy ability, but after reinventing it, he is my child. Please follow me on Twitter at J5TheHyperforce, because I do give updates on upcoming videos and content on there. Speaking of Twitter, if you want to draw any fan arts of Jodie or the new Kirbys featured within this video, tweet at me and I'll feature them in the next video I'm editing at the time. Like, look here. This fan art was done by Susheah on Twitter. She drew a Jodie. I like it. Thanks for the fan art. If you like my game design skills here, then don't forget to check out my own video game, Armate Showdown, my visual novel where you can play the fight scenes. And to get real here, the next few videos are going to be Hypertalks. I'm going to be experimenting with different types of content and subject matters to talk about, because I do have a lot of ranty energy. So I thought maybe turning this ranty energy into a video series might actually be the way to go. I don't know, again, this is all an experiment. Please tell me what you think, because audience engagement will help out a lot. Yeah, the next video in terms of Hypertalks won't exactly be Kirby and the Forgotten Land themed, but that doesn't mean I still don't have other copy abilities I want to reinvent for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So if you want me to redesign more copy abilities, then, you know, let me know in the comments. I know I've said that like 5 fucking times now, but hey, has to be said, because if I'm not telling you to go like, sub, hit the bell every 20 fucking seconds, it's not a real YouTube video, is it? The next time on Hypertalks, we're going to be talking about something very infamous, although I think it's a fucking brilliant thought exercise, so please indulge me when I upload that video. About that, given the amount of work and how big that video might end up being, it might not be the next one, but the one after. It's either the next video or the video after that. So, covering my bases just in case I don't do it next because of how much shit there is! Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was fun. Genuinely, I hope it was fun. Next time on a Kirby and the Forgotten Land Hyper Talks, we'll be reinventing another Kirby Squeak Squad copy ability and singing our hearts out. Yeah, teasing the next video that I might not even make next. Thank you for watching. I'll see you whenever next. Goodbye!